Okay, humble pranams to all the divine souls who have gathered here today. Today, I will be talking about a book titled A Soul's Journey by Peter Richelieu. Why did I choose? I didn't choose. Somebody else recommended, and I thought, okay, why not we discuss about the book? So, what's so great about this book? I will give you a simple layout of the book, and then from there we will discuss. Okay, A Soul's Journey by Peter Richelieu is talks about. It's not a it's not a standard book. It talks about life after death. Not many books about life after death was written during that time. During that time was World War II. So the story is about is a first an account of a travel in the various level of the astral and mental physics, and this was written in a narrative way. Narrative way is like a topic discussion and so on. So journey this story is about a journey of an Englishman, Henry. His name is Henry, living in Ceylon at that time. That time was during World War II, and he had a brother who was uh, who was living in Britain, and he is a RAF soldier. That is Royal Air Force of London, sorry, England that time, and he died. So when that story of his death came to this Henry, he was kind of devastated because he had a very close relationship with his brother, and the brother was very young. I think it's around 23 years old, if I'm not mistaken. So he was thinking about him, and then always thinking he was grieving for him, and he was grieving for the life that he has lost. So what happened is one day, one guy by the name of Acharya, it's a holy man. They call him a Hindu holy man who comes to see him, and he talks to him about the inner life of after death, or what happens after death. Okay, so Acharya will give him some kind of some teach him something, and then will give him a pill that he will ask him to take, so that when he takes that, he will leave the body. So leave the body here means it's like traveling, astral travel. And he takes him on a guided tour of the inner world, inner and subtle planes of the creation. Okay, so this one, what it means is when we go through the book, you will understand better. Okay, and I don't know whether all of you believe of there is a life after death. Most of us do not, because we always believe this is the only life that is on earth. On the life That is the only life that we are leading at the moment. But we fail to understand the moment we die, there's another life waiting for us in a different realm. Okay. And I was actually talking to my daughter, the other day, and I told her, no, when I die, I said, don't do this kind of thing, because when you die, when you go to the next plane, oh yeah, what we were talking about is talking about donating the part of the body. So I said, do not donate any part of the body, because when you donate, the subtle body becomes empty, or etheric body becomes empty. So it will wait for the donated part to die, and then the etheric body fills up, and then only you can go to the other realms. You know what she told me? I am not bothered of what happens to me after death, because I am only worried about what happens in this life. So when I heard this, is it because people do not understand, or does not make any effort about learning what happens in the next life? Is it an enigma? Is next life an enigma? But we all talk about next life. In our country itself, they talk. You know, there'll be seven virgins waiting if you do something for the religion. Seven virgins will be waiting for you in the afterlife, and they do believe there's an afterlife, right? So why these children are not listening? They're not understanding the afterlife. So this question came to me. So I recommended that they all should read this book. Okay, I've digressed. Digress. Sorry. So what happened is, so and then here In this book also, Acharya talks about what happens to you when you're sleeping. He says when we are asleep, our body, our astral body actually goes to the other realm and meet the people that we love. So that's why, especially when, especially when we, let's say that suddenly our parent or somebody died in our family, you know. So, for example, the story I'll talk about is what happens to me. Okay, when my mom died, I didn't feel the separation because I feel that okay, every night I am going to visit her, even though that my memory does not I cannot, my mind does not remember the travel that I did, but I get the feeling that oh everything is okay, you know, that kind of thing. And he said when he meets when he meets Charles in two areas, that is a astral plane and mental plane. We will discuss this at a later part of the book. Yeah. So in you see there what happens in the inner planes. Here, Acharya talks about what are the education and what is the growth that they will have in that kind of astral life, you know. And he said people can visit inner plane while asleep. That's what most of us most of us are doing when we sleep. We are actually visiting the inner plane. There's another method where we can visit the inner plane. That is through meditation. So when you are, you know what, how this happens. When you are closing your eyes and observing your breath, there will be a sunya. A sunya means there's no mind state. You know, during that mind state, we are actually connecting with the other plane. See, the other plane is all oneness. So whatever in that plane, the knowledge of the plane that we will actually acquire. So that's when we sometimes we will understand that this thing is happening, that thing is happening. Sometimes we even see it in a visual form. But for to do this, need to do a lot of meditation. It simply does not come to anybody. It comes to people who has uh, who has done many hours of meditation. You know, sometimes in our previous life we stop there. In your previous life you stop somewhere, and then in this life you kind of continue. So this kind of people will actually that's when the third eye is opened and they can see all those things. Okay. And we also get very rare knowledge from the inner plane, Acharya says. And Acharya also gives a clear account of the hospital, of the colleges in the inner plane, and halls of knowledge and wisdom in the inner plane. So all these things sounds a bit interesting. And you know, as I one thing I understand from reading a lot of book is you don't have to believe anything. You know, you don't have to believe the book. You don't have to believe anything that I say. But you just have to close your eyes, connect with your inner self, and ask yourself, whatever knowledge that I'm receiving, whatever knowledge that I'm reading, is it the truth? So your emotion itself will guide you to the inner truth, to the truth, you know. So just listen to everything that I'm saying with open mind. You don't have to trust me. You don't have to trust the book that you read. You just listen to me and it will kind of resonate with you. If it resonates with you, accept. If it doesn't, never mind. Just this is a knowledge for you, you know. And he also talks about how the spirit visit the physical plane and mingle with us. So that's a very interesting, you know, that means these people are actually coming down to earth and visiting us, which we don't know. We cannot connect. But the psychic people, you know, people who are psychic, they can actually connect with these people. They can actually listen to what they are trying to say. They actually can see some their aura, and they can actually connect with these people and tell us. They can be a medium to us. But according to thinking and destiny, this is not something that you should be doing because they will actually take the energy from you. And normally, what happens to the psychic is after they have told you this kind of thing, or they see a vision, they become very tired because the energy is taken out from us, from them. But instead of doing all those things, just close your eyes, observe your breath, go to the sunya state, and everything get downloaded. All this kind of information get downloaded to you. Okay, and Acharya also talks about training that is given to the people in the when they first arrive, because when they some of the souls are lost. They don't know where to go, what to do, and all these things. There'll be always somebody to guide you, to welcome you, and take you to the correct place and teach you what other things are there. Okay. Mental plane. There's also mental plane that he talks about. It actually gives you a very accurate account of the experiences of dealing directly with the force of ideas, communicating telepathically, and totally free of the clogging emotion. That means you don't feel any kind of emotion there, you can actually feel the thoughts of what another person is feeling. You can actually connect with another soul through telepathically and all those things. And here Acharya gives a pill. That one might sound like a fairy tale, but it's something for him to sleep and get connected to the astral plane. So when he connected to the astral plane, that's where he can travel and see what is happening in the other planes. And Acharya also, in the book also, they talk about drug does not actually take us to astral plane. It is just a way of, it merely expand our mood and imagination of the user. Okay, but that all depends on what kind of drug you're taking. So to know the astral plane, please do not take any kind of drug. Okay, Henry's experience is due the birth. Henry gets all this experience because of Acharya, because Acharya is highly evolved person. He can go to this kind of plane, and he says that he actually came because of Henry's request. Henry wanted to know a lot of answers to his question. So when they had a lot of questions, and this Acharya, guru guided Acharya to come and see him. So these are the things. And he said he gets through through the experience, through the journey and all those things, Henry gets a clarity of what is actually happening in the other life. And there's a lot of question and answer session goes between Acharya and Henry. Okay, and this book it came out at a very crucial time of the on Earth, because it was during the Second World War. A lot of people were dying because of war and all those things, and people don't know what is happening to all the souls and all those things. And that time, I think not everybody understood what soul is. So this book actually gave a lot of people the clarity on what happened to somebody who has died, because a lot of people were losing the loved one in the war. So this book kind of helped them in the understanding what happened to the soul. Okay, and then we all believe that heaven is actually a place. It's a very beautiful place. But Acharya tells through Acharya tells that heaven or the afterlife is a place of activity. A lot of activity is constantly going on. A lot of healing that is going on. A lot of teaching that is going on, and we can see what is actually happening throughout that one chapter after another chapter and so on. Okay, so the life continues in a place um, which many of us not understand what it was all about. But now, with the clarity of the books, we understand there is a life after that. And the soul lives on, the soul progresses in the inner planes. There are he said there are many new possibilities to educate and experience while we are in the physical realm. Okay, how? Through our sleep. When we are sleeping, our soul is actually going to another realm and learning whatever that needs to be learned. Okay, and this one happens to everybody, but unfortunately we do not get connected to this kind of knowledge, because we don't most of them do not meditate. But when you meditate, what happens is, whatever you are learning through your sleep, you actually have that knowing sense. Okay, you will understand certain things without people explaining or going through in detail about what it is. The same thing happens when you're in meditation. Sometimes when we sit in meditation, close our eyes, we are going somewhere. We know that we are conscious, but we don't know where we are. Okay, during that time, some of the senior masters that I checked with, they told me that actually what happened is our soul is going to another plane and learning whatever is needed. We're actually connecting with our thinker self and knower self and downloading all the information. That's the reason, one of the reason that when a lot of us, when we sit down in meditation, we get a lot of clarity for any kind of questions that comes out in our life. In any kind of challenges that we are facing, we have the answer. We don't have to go and ask people, what is the what is the answer to my problem? You yourself will know. This is how you should react. This is how you should do it, all these things. Everything gets downloaded to us, and that knowledge is the one that gives us the clarity. That knowledge is the one that gives us, how to face our challenges. So the important message he says is this: we have we all our existence on the inner. Sorry, one moment. We all have the knowledge. We all have the ability to get the knowledge through meditation, through swadhyaya, through book reading, and a satsang like this. Okay, so this is the potential for us to tap into the higher dimensions of life, and that's what we are doing here in physical life. We are communicating with each other, understanding, reading a book to understand what are the different places that's available. We are meditating to understand that's a different plane. So all these things are giving us information to progress ourselves in life. Okay, so we might not be conscious to what happened to us in sleep, but believe me, there is something that is happening to us in our sleep. Sometimes, sometimes, there was somebody who said, before you go to sleep, you tell your soul, I want to remember what is happening when I sleep. But this is not something that will come easily. But if you keep telling your soul this, one day you can actually remember your dreams. So, and Patriji says, you don't have to analyze your dream, just see it for what it is. The dreams can be what happens it's something that comes up from your subconscious mind. You know, it could be, say, a suppressed emotion, suppressed feeling, suppressed desires, and all the things. They all will come. So just look at the dream in as a third person. Don't analyze the dream so much. Okay. So, and in forward, what he says in chapter 4 is something that will interest everybody. And he talks about recollection of what happens during sleep, and then he gives new ideas. And then, how do we read the book? We have to read the book chapter by chapter. Do not skim. Do not read very fast. Today we were discussing about how to read a book. So when you read a book, what actually happens is, for me, for example, what I do, I will jot down the important point. Once I jot down the important points, I will translate it in Tamil, and then I will record it and put it in my phone so that I can re-listen to that. So these are the methods that I will I will understand this book better. Another method is I will try to relate the information I got from this book from other books. So these are the things you all should do when you read the book. So today is just an intro of the book, and tomorrow onwards, not tomorrow, next week onwards, we'll talk about chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. So thank you so much for listening to me until now.